Hi friends, welcome to SNCA Study Club, a platform for CA final students. The next question is what? Providing a short note with respect of written representation. That is, explain written representation. So here I am taking the relevant essay, that is essay 580. That is written representation. What is mean by this written representation? Written representation means a representation which has been provided by the management to the auditor for the purpose of confirming some audit evidence. So the auditor is telling that I have obtained written representation and it is not required to perform the other audit procedures so as to obtain the audit evidence. Is the statement is correct? The statement is absolutely wrong. That is, auditor has obtained written representation. It doesn't mean that it is absolving auditor or it is absolving auditor from his responsibility. That is, it is not absolving auditor from his responsibility. Auditor have to perform audit procedure so as to obtain audit evidence. The written representation is only for the purpose of what? Conformity. So as to provide a conformity with the audit evidence. Then auditor have to check whether audit evidence is available or not. It can be available or it is not available. It may be not available. In case if it is available, auditor have to check whether it is sufficient and appropriate. Auditor have to check whether it is sufficient and appropriate. Suppose auditor is getting sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. In that case, the written representation is not mandatory. But auditor is getting audit evidence which is not sufficient and appropriate. In that case, auditor have to obtain what? Written representation. So first of all, auditor have to check whether audit evidence is available. If it is available, whether it is sufficient and appropriate. In case if it is not sufficient and appropriate, auditor have to obtain, mandatorily obtains written representation from the management. And if the audit evidence is sufficient and appropriate, auditor is not required to obtain but the written representation. That is, it is not mandatory in that case. May or may not receive. Okay. And the next case is that auditor is not able to obtain what? Sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. In that case also, auditor have to obtain what? Written representation mandatorily. Okay. So now we are moving towards the matters with respect of which, or the written representation, the matters with respect of this written representation have to be obtained by the auditor. Okay. So which are the matters? First of all, auditor have to obtain written representation which is stating that financial statements are prepared as per the financial reporting framework. Internal control system of the organization is operating efficiently and effectively. Management is safeguarding the asset. That is, there exists appropriate safeguard for the asset and as well as the books of accounts, documents, etc. Then written representation with respect of the subsequent events, written representation with respect of going concern. Auditor have to obtain written representation in respect of any uncorrected misstatement, that is, which has been already intimated or which has been already known by the management but which remains uncorrected or what? Yeah, uncorrected. Then internal control system, future estimates. Auditor have to obtain written representation from the management with regarding what? Futuristic estimates, futuristic assumption which has been made by the management. Then what? Related party transaction, lien on asset. So these are the cases where it is necessary or these are the matters on which auditor have to obtain written representation. Plus accounting policy, that is, management is making the appropriate selection of accounting policy and it has been consistently applied for the purpose of preparation of these financial statements. So first of all, FS as per FRF, that is financial statement as per financial reporting framework, internal control system, accounting policy, that is its selection and as well as the consistent application, subsequent events, going concern, related party transaction, future estimates, plans. Then what? Yeah, uncorrected misstatement. So these are the matters on which auditor have to obtain what? Written representation. So representation which has been provided by the management to the auditor to confirm the audit evidence. Obtaining this written representation does not absolve the responsibility of an auditor to perform additional audit procedure. We are moving towards the question. Okay. So while answering to the question, first of all, you have to indicate SA 580, that is written representation, its meaning, etc. Then who shall provide written representation to whom. Then indicate whether audit evidence is available or not. If it is available, whether it is sufficient and appropriate. Then whether written representation absolves the auditor from his responsibility. The answer is no. Auditor still have to perform audit procedure to obtain what? Audit evidence. Then whether the written representation is equal to audit evidence? No, this is not a substitute for audit evidence. This is mainly for the purpose of what? Confirming the audit evidence. Then auditor have to provide a request to the management to obtain what? Written representation, and auditor should check the cases where it is required to obtain more than one written representation. Then written representation inconsistent. Suppose if the written representation that has been audited or that has been received by the auditor is inconsistent with the other audit evidence, so auditor have to perform additional audit procedure and have to obtain what? That is additional audit procedure to obtain what? Corroborative audit evidence. That is corroborative audit evidence. Then last, suppose if the written representation which has been provided by the management is not appropriate, in that case auditor shall take appropriate action including modification to the audit report. So the answering shall be, first of all, SA 580, it is about written representation, auditor's responsibility to obtain written representation. It is a representation which has been provided by the management to the auditor to confirm the audit evidence. Auditor written representation is not a substitute or it is not an audit evidence. The mere receipt of written representation doesn't absolve the auditor from his responsibility. Auditor have to perform additional audit procedure and auditor shall determine whether the audit evidence is available or not. In case if it is available, not available, or if the information is not sufficient and appropriate, it is required to obtain written representation from the management. Auditor should check whether there exist any circumstances or case where it is required to obtain more than one audit evidence. Then if auditor found the written representation which has been obtained from the management is inconsistent with the available or already obtained audit evidence, he have to perform additional audit procedure to obtain corroborative audit evidence. If the auditor found written representation is not appropriate or wrong, or it is contain any wrong or wrong matter or wrong information, auditor shall take appropriate action including modification to the audit report. Okay.